What is up, guys? Your boy TSL here, and today we will be starting a new series, hopefully. If not, then it'll just be this one video. So I hope you guys are excited as I am. So basically, we will be ranking Roblox games based on their category, and today's category is simulators. So the way the ranking is going to work is we will have 6 categories. The categories are the development difficulty, the reputation, the gameplay, the popularity, the creativity, and the design. All of those will be ranked on a scale of 1 to 5, and all their points will be added up to a total, and then the total will be used to calculate either if they're S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, or F tier. So to get S tier, you need to score, the game needs to score between 25 and 30 points, A tier 20 to 24 points, B tier 15 to 19 points, C tier 10 to 14 points, D tier 5 to 9 points, and F tier 0 through 4 points. Alright, so the 15 games we have, or simulators rather, we have chosen are Ninja Legends, Lifting Simulator, Superpower Training Simulator, Superpower Fighting Simulator, Destruction Simulator, Lifting Titans, Legends of Speed, Munching Masters, 3-2-1 Blastoff Simulator, Sled Simulator, Anime Fighting Simulator, War Simulator, Bee Swarm Simulator, Sabre Simulator, and Fishing Simulator. Alright guys, so before we get into it, the website I will be using is called TSL Tier List. I'll leave the link in the description, so it's tsltierlist.pythonanywhere.com. So yes, it is TSL. That means I finished making this website like 4 days ago at the time of recording. And so far there's only three things, but you can easily create your own by going to the Create tab, entering your title, entering text, and you can add as many items as you want. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. So the first game we will be ranking is Ninja Legends. So for this, I think that it deserves to be in S tier based on the rankings. It scored a 3 on development difficulty, a 5 for reputation, a 4 for gameplay, a 5 for popularity, a 3 for creativity, and a 5 for design. So basically, the development difficulty is not that hard. No simulators are really that hard to make. At least most of the ones that you play nowadays, they're not that hard to make. The reputation, a lot of people play it or played it. The gameplay is pretty good. Just, it's good, yeah. The popularity, once again, just like the reputation, a lot of people play it, has a good reputation, all that. Creativity, not super creative, it's just your average simulator game, just with different animations, and like instead of lifting stuff, you swing stuff. And the design, I really like the nice low poly theme it has going, and I just think it looks really nice. Alright guys, so next thing we have up is Lifting Simulator. So Lifting Simulator scored a 2 on development difficulty, a 4 for reputation, a 2 for gameplay, a 3 for popularity, a 2 for creativity, and a 3 for design. So that means that it was ranked at B tier for a total of 16 points. Alright guys, so next we have Superpower Training Simulator. And for Lifting Simulator, let me just say this. The reason it's only B tier, there's only 9 stages, at least the last time I've played it. And the game, it's just, like, what I would rather have is it have a lot more stages. You progress, or it seems like you progress quicker, but it's really like the same length. But it's just because you get more and more, it just seems like you're progressing more. So that's the reason, because it doesn't do that, that's the reason why it's only in B tier. And because of all the stuff we said, the reputation's pretty good. The gameplay, it's okay. It's not hard to make at all. And the creativity is really not that good. It's just lifting game, average simulator. And the design, it's okay. It's not the greatest design ever. It's pretty plain. Alright, so next we have Superpower Training Simulator. It's pretty classic, but it's scored a 4 on development difficulty. It scored a 3 on reputation, a 3 on gameplay, a 3 on popularity, a 5 on creativity, first of its kind, and a 4 on design. Pretty decent map, at least for the time in 2018, and it would have probably scored a little higher if they continued updating it. So it scored a 22, which leaves it in A tier. Alright guys, so next up is the remake, or actually I just found out that it was only made less than 4 months after Super Power Training Simulator came out. Which I did not know. I thought it was kind of recent. So basically, it scored a 4 on the development difficulty, same as Super Power Training Simulator. Just as Super Power Training Simulator did, it scored a 3 on reputation. It scored a little higher on gameplay, scored a 4. Scored a 3 on popularity as well. Scored a 2 on creativity just because it wasn't the first of its kind. Kind of copied Super Power Training Simulator, but made it better and actually updates. And the 5 on design. The map is a lot better than Super Power Training Simulator, a lot nicer and cleaner. So it scores in A tier at 21 points. Alright guys, Destruction Simulator is next. So basically, it scored a 3 on the development difficulty. Not hard to make things explode, but it is kind of hard to calculate the points based on that. That's why it gets a 3. So it gets a 4 on reputation. It actually has a really good reputation. Scores a 3 on gameplay just because it's fun, but then it gets boring kind of quickly. It scored a 3 for popularity. Scored a 5 on creativity and a 3 on design, which gives it a total of 20, which leaves it in A tier as well. Next up, Lifting Titans, the remake of Lifting Simulator. My opinion, definitely better. They did everything I was complaining about Lifting Simulator and just did it and some more. So Lifting Titans got a 2 on development difficulty, just like Lifting Simulator. It scored a 4 on reputation, a 3 on gameplay, 3 on popularity, but it scored a 1 on creativity since it's a remake of Lifting Simulator, and it scored a 4 on the design. It's a pretty nice design, just a little cramped. If it was more spaced out, definitely would have got a 5. So basically, like I was saying, it makes you seem like you have progressed because instead of having only 9 stages, they have 30, and so you move along pretty quickly unlike Lifting Simulator. Also, there's zones and pets, which simulators mostly have pets nowadays. So good thing they added that, and that leaves it in B tier as well, just with Lifting Simulator. Alright guys, so the next one is Legends of Speed, and this one actually surprised me. So Legends of Speed scored a 2 on development difficulty. Come on guys, it's not that hard to make your speed increase just because you were walking around. Let's face it. It scored a 5 on reputation. It has such a good reputation, really surprised me. It scored a 2 on gameplay though. It gets boring really fast just walking around, moving your joystick, pressing WASD. It scored a 4 on popularity once again. I said it's still really popular. Creativity though, it only got a 1 because it wasn't the first of its kind. Speed Simulator 2 came out before it. Fortunately, Speed Simulator 2 is no longer available, so that's why it's not on this list. And then it scored a 3 for design. The map really, they were kind of slacking on it. Alright, so that leaves Legends of Speed with a grand total of 17 points, which leaves it in B tier. Alright, next is Munching Masters, which, guys, let's face it, it's just a complete ripoff of Eating Simulator, but for some reason I couldn't find Eating Simulator anymore. I guess they took it down or something, and it's a worse version of it. So this one, it scored a 3 on dev difficulty. I don't know. Guess I was being a bit generous. Scored a 2 on the reputation. Doesn't have great reputation. It scored a 2 on gameplay. It's, like I said, a worse version of what Eating Simulator used to be. Scored a 2 on popularity. Really not that popular. Scored a 1 on creativity, because like I said, rip off of Eating Simulator, right? And it scored a 2 on design because the map, it wasn't nice. Alright, so that leaves it at 12 points, which is a C tier. Alright guys, next up is 3-2-1 Blastoff Simulator, which scored 4 points for development difficulty, and it scored 3 points for the reputation. It scored 2 points for the gameplay. It's not that fun, honestly, guys. In my opinion, scored 2 points on popularity, and it scored 4 points on creativity though, and it scored 3 points on design, which leaves it at a grand total of 18 points, which leaves it in B tier, which is right here. Alright guys, next one is Sled Simulator. Now this one, guys, when I played it a few days ago, it really disappointed me, guys. It has so much potential, but the developers really were slacking on it. So it scored only a 1 on development difficulty. Definitely would have scored higher if they made it the way it should be, in my opinion. They scored a 2 for reputation, and really doesn't have that good reputation. Scored a 1 for gameplay. It's boring. If they gave you like some control over your sled, like at least the ability to turn, maybe some boost regenerating over time, but no, none of that is there, which gives it a 1 for gameplay and difficulty, because that would have made it a little harder to dev. Alright, the popularity, not great, it's a 1. Creativity, it's 2. I mean, it's kind of like buildable for treasure, but it's, in my opinion, definitely a lot worse. And it scored a 2 for design. Map definitely could use some work. This whole game has a lot of potential if the devs just put in some work. Alright, so that leaves it at a grand total of 9, which is a D tier. Alright guys, next, you guys probably have heard of it. It's probably the most popular like superpower training simulator type game. It's Anime Fighting Simulator. Now that scored a 4 on development difficulty along with the other superpower training type games. It scored a 5 on popularity, or reputation, I'm sorry. Has a really good reputation. Scored a 4 on gameplay. Just has some extra elements, a lot of extra elements. Now, one thing I should mention is Superpower Fighting Simulator. I am not the highest rank, so I can't even go to the space dimension, so I don't know what's there. I know they have bosses and stuff that you get from bosses, so I can't completely judge fairly on that 100%. Alright, but Anime Fighting Simulator, back to that, scored a 4 on gameplay and a 5 on popularity. Now, the design, or the creativity, first of all, only got a 1. Remake of Superpower Training Simulator and Superpower Fighting Simulator, but they did add some extra stuff. And then they scored a 3 on design. Definitely could update the design. I don't know, I don't watch anime, so maybe that's what they were going for, not really sure. So it scored a 23 grand total, which puts it up in A tier with our other superpower training simulator like games. Alright guys, 4 more left. We have War Simulator, Bee Swarm Simulator, Sabre Simulator, and Fishing Simulator. So we'll do War Sim, which has a 3 for development difficulty. Not that hard to make some NPCs. Definitely would have scored lower if they didn't have those like gun weapons that are more difficult to make. Like if it was just like swords. Alright, so then it scored a 3 for reputation. Pretty decent reputation. Scored a 3 for gameplay and a 2 for popularity. It scored a 4 for gameplay. Creativity somehow. And it scored a 4 for total. Wait, no, for a 4 for design. Pretty good design. Maps were pretty nicely made. Definitely paid attention to some details. And that leaves it at a total of 19, which is barely a B tier, almost an A tier. Is what I mean by barely a B tier in this case. Next up, Bee Swarm Simulator. I don't really have to explain anything other than it's in S tier. And if you guys really want me to just go over what it got 5 on development difficulty, 5 on reputation, 4 on gameplay, 5 on popularity, 5 on creativity, and 4 on design. It's going in S tier. Nobody can tell me different. You know, it's just a classic. It's the most different simulator I've seen out there. The developers definitely did a great job with this game, and it's so much different than the rest of the simulators you play, and definitely deserves to be up in S tier. It scored 28 points total, which is higher than anything else. Almost got the perfect 30. Just could have improved the design, and they might have improved the gameplay since the last time I've played it, but since the last time I played it, scored 4. Great game, guys. Definitely recommend it if you somehow never heard of it. Alright, guys. Next up, Sabre Simulator. Now, this one, So, it's development difficulty 3, just like most of the other normal simulators, typical simulators. Scored 2 for reputation, not that great reputation. 2 for gameplay, not that great gameplay. It's just your typical simulator with nothing else really added. It scored a 2 for popularity, a 2 for creativity because it's your typical simulator, just with sabers instead. And then it scored a 2 for design. The design could definitely be improved. Alright, so that leaves it at a 15 in B tier. Alright, so that leaves us our last one, Fishing Simulator. One thing, I don't like this game, I'm just going to say it. But that being said, it did get an A tier because, they did something right to get it in A tier. I just don't like the game overall, though. But you might. So, I'll go over the stats real quick. It got a 3 in dev difficulty. Fishing system, pretty decently hard. It got a 4 in reputation because it has a good reputation. Now, gameplay, this is the part I really don't like, but it got a 4. And it got a 5 in popularity. It got a 4 in creativity and a 4 in design. Nice design, pretty decently hard to make, pretty creative, honestly. Good reputation, really popular, and I don't know. I just don't like the gameplay, but I know a lot of people do. So that leaves it with a grand total of 24 points, which is A tier. Alright guys, so if you want to see the full stats, there is a Google spreadsheet linked in the description below, so make sure you check that out if you want to. Also make sure you check out the TSL tier list website to make your own tier list, and if you want you can even do this one or the other 2 that are up there, or make your own. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, if enough of you like it, or if you guys just really like these videos, then I will definitely continue doing these more often. And they kind of fit with the channel, I guess, because it's ranking them based off development, not really anything else really. So that being said, guys, please leave a like and subscribe so that I can continue putting out more videos for you guys to enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.